Joining us now, Toby Mack. He's the president and CEO of the Energy Equipment and Infrastructure Alliance, and they've got a new campaign starting today. It's called Stop the Delays for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. Hey, Toby, good to have you back, man.
Good morning, John. Good to be back.
So, Toby, what's going on with this new initiative you have, Stop the Delays for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, which is just stuck in the legal mud now?
Well, the pipeline is absolutely crucial to Virginia. It brings low-cost, abundant, reliable energy supplies to a state that absolutely desperately needs it to continue economic growth. The project, you're right, is tied up in courts right now, but a big coalition of business and industry and the companies involved are trying to work through those delays, but they've been put in place by opposition that thinks that we shouldn't be burning any natural gas, let alone as much as is necessary to heat homes, to power businesses, and to provide electricity to the grid, et cetera, et cetera. So it's crazy to do that, and we're trying to stop it because it's critical to the state.
Well, Toby, all of us are 100% behind this pipeline because it brings energy, it brings jobs, both in the short term for building the pipeline, then jobs because manufacturers come in, they tap right into it. In fact, I had former governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, on my show the other day, likely candidate for U.S. president on the Democratic side, obviously, who was a backer of both the Mountain Valley Pipeline, the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. And he said, look, in rural Virginia, areas where it's going through, it's going to bring jobs there. Because he said, I tried to get manufacturing plants when I was governor to go there, and they couldn't go because they have no energy. And so they're like, we can't build a manufacturing plant and hire people where we can't have access to affordable and readily available energy. The pipeline does that. So thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs are at stake. Walk our audience through, Toby, right now. What is the legal holdup? What is the main legal challenge now that has everything stalled?
Well, believe it or not, one of the biggest problems that the pipeline's encountered is a legal challenge against it coming across the Appalachian Trail in Western Virginia, and that's where the majority of the pushback is right now. The company has taken the project through an unbelievably rigorous process of ensuring environmental impacts are absolutely minimal to negative, and that the project, after it goes through a region, returns the area to its pristine former condition. So the opposition isn't about that. The opposition is trying to find any loophole or legal lever that they can pull because they want to, number one, keep it in the ground, number two, go to 100% renewables. We love renewables, but you can't do it without natural gas. And so this is all about the climate lobby or the climate change crowd trying to get us 100% off of hydrocarbons, which is absolutely impossible.
Okay, so Toby, but it is being held up by a judge, right? So how do you walk us through the procedure now to unclog it, and then we'll get to your campaign, Stop the Delays.
Sure. Yes. So the Fourth Circuit Court, which is the U.S. District Appellate Court that sits in Richmond, a panel of judges from the Fourth Circuit ruled that the permit to cross the Appalachian Trail was not issued after enough due diligence was done to make sure that the impacts would be negative. That was a position that just about everybody that needs this pipeline and wants this pipeline disagrees. But that was their ruling, and then the company Dominion and its developers tried to get the entire Fourth Circuit to review it. They refused to do so, and now Dominion and its developers are taking that ruling and appealing it to the Supreme Court. That appeal to the Supreme Court is in process right now. It's not been submitted yet, but it will be shortly. So
then, what would be the timeline on that, Toby Mack? Walk us through that.
I can't say for sure. It's Supreme Court watchers are always scratching their heads about what the court will do and when they will do it. We just know that it's going to take some time, and that time is costing the state and construction workers and local communities that would gain from property taxes and all of the capital expenditures that would go on inside the state just get delayed further and further and further. So the state's economy and the state's workers are the losers. The sooner the better. We're going to be hopeful.
We're with Toby Mack. He's president and CEO of the Energy Equipment and Infrastructure Alliance, EEIA. Toby, let's get to your initiative, Stop the Delays. And by the way, you can follow it on hashtag. Go to hashtag, follow it on Twitter. I'm sorry. Go to hashtag Stop the Delays, hashtag Stop the Delays. What is the purpose of your initiative, and what does it do?
Well, we're trying to bring as much public pressure and public visibility to the effort to stop the pipeline and bring it to the public consciousness, make them aware of the costs to them individually as energy consumers and the costs to their community from denial of jobs and all the economic opportunity that creates and the property taxes that the project would generate. So we just want to get as much public visibility on that as possible and just make the political leadership of the state understand that any attempt to slow this project down further is going to cost them and cost their communities dearly. So we just want to bring as much public visibility to that as possible and hope that policymakers understand that and feel the pressure and do whatever they can to push this thing as fast as it can go.
So Toby Mack, let me ask you this. The holdup is the permit going through the Appalachian Trail, right? That's the holdup.
Yep.
So, Toby, aren't there other pipelines that have gotten permits to go through the trail? Like, this is the first one, right?
John, there are, I don't know what the exact number is, but it's a mid-double-digit number. 20, 30, 40 pipelines have already gone under the trail. And so that's part of the, how shall I say, insincerity of this project.
Exactly. Thank you.
And it's, I don't want to, well, we could use the term hypocrisy. Possibly.
I will say it. It's totally hypocritical. It's total hypocrisy. It's totally insincere. It's total nonsense because there are 30 or 40 existing pipelines that have gone under the Appalachian Trail that all got permits. And there's no problem. Nothing happens. So you are number like 53 or something. And this is the one that the activists that don't want any natural gas, they don't want anything coming out of the ground, they stop it here and they claim it's for environmental reasons. When it's not for environmental reasons, it's for their activist, whacktivist agenda in order to stop us getting energy. I mean, that's what this whole thing is. It has nothing to do with environmental concerns about the trail. There's already 40 pipelines that got under there that all got permits. So why don't they just be honest about it and tell the truth and say, look, they want people riding bicycles, lighting candles. They want no non-renewable sources of energy whatsoever. This is the new Green Deal in all its glory, stopped at the Appalachian Trail. That's all it is. It's utter nonsense, and it's costing people thousands of jobs. It's costing the opportunity to get manufacturing into Virginia. It's disenfranchising Western and Southwest Virginia residents to get good jobs because they can't get companies there because they don't have the access to energy. It raises the cost of energy. And so you have jobs in the short term and then enduring jobs after that all gone over the new Green Deal and all bottled up on the Appalachian Trail under the ruse of environmental concerns. That is the hypocrisy of it, Toby. Am I right?
John, you nailed it. They are gaming the system for their ideological agenda. It's absolutely adverse to the people and the businesses and the economy of the state. There will be a huge price to pay. We're just all in for getting past those barriers, making sure that everybody understands the incredible inconsistencies in stopping the project and the basis upon which it's being stopped. We just want to get past all this and get work started on this pipeline. We are hopeful that we'll start to see dirt move in the fall.
Well, and so everybody knows the pipeline construction started. I mean, it's already started. Like it's already been laid, pieces of it, and now it's all just stopped and covered up because of this one judge or this one panel of judges in Richmond making this ruling. It's going to go to SCOTUS, and SCOTUS is going to rule on it. And I don't know what kind of a negative ruling they can have when there's already 35 to 50 other pipelines down there. I mean, what do you say? Those were fine, but this one isn't, and they're all the same? Like, how does that ruling make sense? So the lower court's going to get overturned, and you just got to wait it out. Meantime, people could be working, and they're not.
4,500 skilled construction workers have either not been hired or have been sent home because you're right, the project already began. All those workers and all that equipment and all of the supplies and materials that have been marshaled to build this project have all been sent home, and they're just, waiting and hoping that they can get back to work.
Gathering mothballs and people out of work with good paying jobs. These are not like $7 an hour jobs. These are, $80, $90, $100,000 jobs along that pipeline. And then companies, here's the other thing, companies that were looking at relocating to the pipeline route where jobs are needed in Southwest Virginia and rural North Carolina up around the Elizabeth City area. Companies that were considering reloading, they're now picking other locations because they have no certainty of when the energy of the pipeline is going to be available. So you don't know how many companies have passed us by because there's no certainty about when they're going to get energy. So it's a triple whammy. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is just a window, a glimpse into what the new Green Deal is. And they're doing it through the legal system, which is a complete sham and a complete ruse. That's how they're doing it. But this is just a glimpse of what you're going to get with these people as they take power, and they don't want any sources of non-renewable energy, including natural gas or anything else. And so this is just a little window into what this is going to look like. And basically it's going to be, you don't have a job. Look, they all want you on a food line where the elites hand out the boxes of food like Maduro was doing in Venezuela. That's where the end game of this is. Toby, thanks for being with us. Hey, follow.
Thank you, John. My pleasure.
Follow Toby on Twitter, and you want to be able to do that. You can follow him there. It's real easy. Just go to @EnergyBuilders and hashtag stop the delays for the pipeline. Toby, thanks for being with us. I got to roll.
Thank
John
you,
Fredericks
John.
Radio
Thank
Network
you.
live in Richmond.